Hello, welcome back everyone. Today I'm going to be showing you how to create and configure an Azure Container Apps instance using the Azure CLI. In the previous video, we had deployed an Azure Container Apps instance using the Azure portal. In this video, using just a command line, we're going to be deploying a simple Hello World container app, retrieve its URL, and even update scaling rules. I'll walk you through everything, so let's go ahead and dive right in. Before we start, make sure you have the Azure CLI installed. And you're going to want to log in using AZ login. For this demo, I'm going to be using a resource group called RG ACA demo, an environment named My Container App Environment, and a container app called My Container App. These are just defaults I've chosen to use, but you can customize these names however you would like throughout this demo. So let me go ahead and share my screen. So now you can see Windows PowerShell. So first up, we need to create a resource group, a container for all of our Azure resources. So let's go ahead and run the command to do that. Az group create ACA demo, and then our location. I'm closest to East US, so we'll go ahead and use that. We'll click enter. It'll take it a moment to run. Wonderful. So we can see that we have a resource group created called RG-ACA demo in the East US region. And this is now where we will create and house our environment and container app. So now let's go ahead and create our Azure Container Apps environment. This is our dedicated space where our container apps will run, complete with networking and scaling capabilities. So let's go ahead and run the command to create. So name my container app environment. Oops. And then resource group is called, what did we call it again? RGACA demo. All right. And again, we need to give it the location to deploy, which we'll give it as East US. So go ahead and click enter. This may take a moment. Sometimes it can take several minutes, so I'll be back as soon as it is finished running. All right, welcome back. There we have it. Hopefully your Azure Container Apps environment also deployed successfully. And you can see we have a bit of an output with some information regarding that deployment. So now we'll go ahead and deploy our container app. We're going to be using a sample image from Microsoft that simply returns a splash page, letting us know that the container app has successfully deployed. This command to deploy the container app can sometimes be a bit cumbersome to type, so I went ahead and copied the command. Let's just a second. I went ahead and copied the command over, and we're going to run that. Oops, so what happened is after running, it exited the bash terminal for some reason. So let's go ahead and try that again. So here's the command. So we have AZ container app create. We have the name of the container app, my container app, the resource group RGACA demo, my container app environment, which we just created, the image, the target port, right? And then finally the ingress settings as external. So it creates a container app, pulls the hello world image, and maps the container's port to 80 for HTTP traffic, and sets the app to be publicly accessible. So I'll go ahead and run that command. And again, it might take a few moments to deploy. So we'll wait a couple moments. And there we have it. So we can see that it's successfully deployed. So we're going to go ahead and now jump to the Azure portal to verify our deployment. So let's go ahead and open up the Azure portal. I'm going to go to my resource groups. And I should see the resource group I had created. Oh, here we go. We can search for rg.aca demo. There it is. And then we can see we have our container app environment, we have our log analytics workspace, and we also have our container app. So I'll go ahead and open that. We can see the application URL. Let's click on that. There we have it. Welcome to Azure Container Instances. So we can see that our container app is successfully up and running. All right, so now we're going to be updating the scaling rules and configurations. To ensure your app scales automatically based on load, we can update its scaling rules. For instance, we can set it to at least 1 replica and up to 5 replicas. In addition, we can set CPU scaling rules such that if CPU usage goes above 50%, we can actually adapt the container application. So once again, because the command is fairly long, I have copied it. And all these commands can be found in Microsoft documentation that I'm linking down below in the video description. So what this command does is it sets the minimum replicas to 1, max replicas to 5, and then it creates a new rule called CPU rule. And you can see if the CPU utilization crosses 50%, we can automatically adjust our application to expand and scale up. So we'll go ahead and run this command. All right, and there we have it. The command has successfully executed. You can also go into the Azure portal and verify these updates under the scaling settings. So that's it for today's demo. We've created a resource group, set up an Azure Container App environment, deployed a Hello World container app, retrieved the URL, and updated its auto scale settings using the Azure CLI. Plus, we took a quick tour of the Azure portal to check our work. If you found this demo helpful, give it a thumbs up, subscribe for more in-depth content, and stay in touch during this ACA video series to build your knowledge on the future of the cloud. Hope to see you in the next video, and happy coding.